Identity rewiring for founders. So if you're an ambitious entrepreneur doing 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure, this video is for you. So no matter what revenue level that you're in, you have like an invisible ceiling. And what I actually mean by invisible ceiling is that people aren't really aware of it, because they think that doing more marketing, more strategy alone is going to help them solve the problem. But a lot of the time, what tends to happen is that people hit an invisible ceiling that they don't even know that it's there, right? So, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I do a quick intro. My name is Farbod, and I run a hypnosis coaching business, helping entrepreneurs rewire their mindset. So whether you're a multi-6, 7, or 8-figure entrepreneur, and you have tried strategies, you have tried different things, even therapy, things like that, but nothing seems to be clicking, and you're stuck or you're plateaued at a certain revenue or certain stage in your career, in your business. So we want to find out what is the root cause of it. So, and we do this through identity rewire method, so which I'll explain a little bit more in detail. But I want you to ask you this question: like, are you in a business, are you in a situation where no matter how hard you try, you keep hitting a ceiling? No matter how many hours you work, no matter how many outreach people you talk to, all that sort of stuff, but you keep hitting a ceiling, right? So this is you if you've been stuck in that plateau for the past 6, 12 months, or even 1 to 3 years. So this is not for beginner, this is for people who already have an existing business, but they've been plateaued. You tried running more ads, they tell you, hey, run more ads, create more content. You're switching offer, you hiring coaches, you investing in courses, program, and things like that. You get some temporary result, but then again, you snap back into your old identity. You snap back what is familiar. The reason for that is because our brain likes familiarity. So the strategy and all those things temporarily might work, but if your identity isn't in alignment with your goals, then your brain, literally, your nervous system, find ways to bring you back to who you were, to your old identity. This is why it's so important for us to rewire our identity. Okay? So the real problem of that invisible ceiling is that your income ceiling is actually your identity ceiling. You didn't hit a plateau, you weren't stuck. Like, you're not stuck. You are actually on an old programming that no longer serves you. So you have to change the self-concept. You have to shift that identity of yours, right? That is like your self-concept, that is your self-image, whatever you want to call it. And this is basically how you view yourself as an operator. What seems normal to you, what seems familiar to you, right? All that sort of good stuff. So we want to really change or upgrade our identity about how we view ourselves. Because think of it this way, right? If you already knew that you would be hitting your goals, right? Whether that's 100K a month, whether that's 500K a month, or $1 million a month. If you already know you could do it and it is normal to you, naturally you're going to take the right action, right? Naturally you're going to be more confident on sales calls. Naturally you're going to train your team. Naturally you're going to hire the right team. You set the benchmark. You do all those things, right? So that's what we want to do. This isn't like working more hours, 10 to 12 hours a day. It's more about who we become as an operator that is able to effortlessly get there, that is able to effortlessly create content and do it at the highest, doing all the highest leverage activities more efficiently, more effectively. And it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about becoming a better operator, right? If that makes sense. So I will touch a little bit about my story, about how I rewired myself multiple times. So growing up, I lived with self-doubt and things like that, limiting belief, and I made it my mission to actually help people. And this is why I started this coaching business. And I had multiple experiences with rewiring my own identity. So basically going from charging low ticket into high ticket early on in my content agency space. So I was charging $300, $500, and then as soon as I shifted my identity that, hey, I always charge per project $2,000 to $5,000. This is my new identity. And within weeks or within days, I was able to sign up my $1,500 client with a dentist. So I was able to sign them up, pay in full. The next client was $2,000, and it just went on and on. So I just made that shift in my identity. I just stopped viewing myself as a videographer who was like charging $300 to $500 per project, because that's what I was stuck. That's what my old identity was attached to. So I shifted that identity. So same thing now. So I moved from just being a creator, moved to agency owner, and now to hypnosis coaching. So I went through this phase myself. So I see the value or the benefit of upgrading your identity, because once you rewire your identity, you naturally take those actions. You naturally walk, you naturally think, you feel, act, and vibrate and operate as that best version of you, because that best version of you is going to help you get to the next level. It's that we want to basically take that future self into the now. So there is a gap. Your current self, your future self. We want to basically, obviously, like you're an ambitious entrepreneur, if you're watching this video, you have big ambition, but your identity isn't matched or isn't in alignment with who you need to be in the now. So we want to bridge that gap. We want to normalize it in our nervous system, in our brain, that we already are our best operator. We already know in detail who we are, how we think, how we feel, how we act, how our morning routine looks like, how we go about our day, how our dream life actually look like and feel like, and experience that before it actually happened, right? All that sort of good stuff. So I want to walk you through another client of mine, Andrew, so who was underpricing his offer, who was afraid to sell high ticket, and he went from charging £400 and he signed up a client and increased the price to £950, right? So was able to cash collect the biggest amount that he never even done and he never even thought was possible. So that shift of belief, right? So, and then we got Anne, who was living with self-doubt, limiting belief, who was always stuck working for someone else, and was able to turn her piano, her skill, into, a side hustle that's gonna make her full-time soon. So basically, she was able to sign up after our hypnosis session. She was able to sign up 5 or 6 clients because she made a post and on Facebook groups, and was able to get leads and sign people up, right? It's just that shift of belief. What was stopping her from moving to the next level and things like that. So if you're watching this video, I been working on this hypnosis program for a while I've been running my agency. So I'm looking to literally help as many people as humanly possible. So I made it my mission to help hundreds, thousands of people, which is why I launched this limitless session program, and also the identity rewire method. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the limitless ascension program and how it can actually help you rewire your identity, because I call it the identity rewire method for a reason. Because once we change who we are, we become this new identity, everything changes. So there are 3 phases in terms of my coaching. One is excavation. This is basically you realizing that you are in a cage. You are living with limiting beliefs and that's holding you back. And we want to understand that you already have that ambition goal that you want to pursue as an entrepreneur, as a founder, but your identity, as I said earlier, isn't in alignment. So we want to first realize that. We want to get clear on the goal, which you already know. If you don't know how to think bigger, I'll help you with that. And then we want to specify who that identity is. So we see that gap. We see that we are in a ceiling. The rewiring is the second phase, basically bridging the gap, getting rid of all your limiting beliefs, self-doubt, fear, and all that sort of stuff, and replacing it with positive, empowering beliefs and becoming this new identity. So we want to bridge that gap from current self to the future self and become that future self in the now, which leads to embodiment. So you embody that new identity. You start thinking, feeling, acting, and operating as that version of yourself, right? Which is super, super important. And how it actually works. So we have different programs that are run in my coaching program, and I want to walk you through the one-on-one. So we got the group plus one-on-one access. We also have the this program, Limitless Session, which is strictly focused on one-on-one support. So you get a one-on-one coaching call, you get messenger support and accountability, and full access to the training, which I'll be adding more and more training, so then you can become an expert when it comes to self-hypnosis. So my goal is actually to help you with the hypnosis, so you're able to rewire your mind and become your best identity. And I want to actually help you that you master the art of self-hypnosis by the end of the program, so you can apply it on your own as well. So if that sounds good to you, I want you to book an identity rewire call with me. I'll leave the link down below and look forward to speaking with you soon.